I can see you. Make it quick.
Hello gamers and welcome to my honest BioShock Infinite review. I finally finished this fucking game after 2 months. It felt like a chore and I forced myself on finishing this fucking game. Why? Because it was fucking boring. And I was actually thinking on skipping this review because people have been saying how awesome this game is. Reviewers have been calling this game Game of the Year, 10 out of 10, 3 months into the year. In a year where you're supposed to have GTA 5. Watch Dogs and a shitload of other interesting indie games. People have been calling it Game of the Year. No, it's not, and I'm going to fucking tell you why it's not. So I'm going to start this review the other way around. I'm going to ask you a question. Am I the only one who didn't like this fucking game? If so, please tell me in the comments below. I'm also giving this game a 7.5 rating. Why? Let's fucking see why. BioShock Infinite is a first-person shooter developed by Irrational Games. You take the role of Booker DeWitt and you are sent in the floating air of Columbia to find a girl named Elizabeth. The first 3 hours were the most interesting to me. I wasn't sure who I was, who is the girl I have to find. The Columbia city looked beautiful. You can really see the awesome art direction that the developers took. It was simply beautiful to walk around in the first hours. The confusion that you have early on, it's really nice. It really made me get into the game. It was the type of confusion and wanted you to know more. It made you explore. I want to see there, I want to see there. One thing that I have to add is that I didn't really like BioShock 1. The second BioShock, I didn't even try to play it. I never liked the fact that you can only choose 2 weapons and 2 Vigors at the same time, and I also didn't like the environment. It made me feel claustrophobic. Now, with BioShock Infinite, some of these limitations are still present. However, since, you know, it's a city you can look up in the sky, it gave me a feeling of open world a bit. It's still super linear, you have no decisions to make on your own, you are just going to follow a predefined path, but it gave me a better feeling, especially with the art direction. Now, again, you can only choose 2 weapons at the same time. If you run out of bullets, you will need to find another weapon on the ground or something to replace one of your weapons. If you want to get your old weapon back, tough luck, you will need to hopefully find one later. You can also upgrade your weapons, however the system is kind of broken. I bought some upgrades for the pistol only to find out later that I prefer the hand cannon and the rifle. So the upgrades that I just bought became useless. Which made me think, like, I was under the impression that, should I upgrade? No, I'm not going to upgrade, I'm going to keep my money, so maybe I will upgrade some other gun that I might find later and I might enjoy more. Which is something that shouldn't happen with upgrades. Upgrades are supposed to be something fun, like, yeah, I can upgrade right now, I have some money, let's upgrade that, and I'm going to use it and I'm going to enjoy it. It's not going to happen here. Why? Because your money are limited. And with the money you are going to use, you can upgrade your weapons and your Vigors. And the same thing applies to Vigors too. Am I going to upgrade a Vigor, or am I going to keep the money and upgrade another Vigor that I might find later and I might enjoy later, right? The same thing with the Vigors. You can only choose 2 Vigors at the same time. You can swap them by using the keyboard shortcut, but only 2 will be active at the same time. I also didn't find them to be too interesting. You have the Vigor that can take control of turrets, you have the Crow Vigor and a few others. However, the problem is that their functionality is kind of the same. You have the crowd control Vigors and the damage dealer Vigors. Vigors can also be upgraded, as I've said, with the same system, but I don't really like it. There is no inventory system. You can't keep a weapon in your inventory so you can switch with it later. If you find health or mana potions, you can't pick them up. You will use them instantly, even if you don't need them. So what's the point of looking for stuff and searching for stuff if you don't need them on the same thing? Now let's talk about the girl, right? When I first found her in the first hour, I was a bit intrigued, and I also was a bit sad and annoyed, like, oh my god, I have to protect an NPC. If she dies, I will have to reload. That's not really the case. She is going to be with you, but she's there to help you. She does not take damage and she does not die. She will occasionally throw you ammunition, salt, and it's kind of nice that she's around to help you. So that's one of the good parts about the game.
Elizabeth!
Hello! Oh, this is wonderful! Oh, come dance with me, Mr. Twig.
I don't dance. Come on, let's go.
Why? What could be better than this?
And also when there is no combat, Booker and Elizabeth will talk, will interact with each other often, and that's the only good thing about the game. So the first 3 hours of the game were very enjoyable. I enjoyed the interaction with Elizabeth. I still wasn't sure what the hell is going on, but I wanted to know more. Then the story kind of became a bit confusing. It was still a bit interesting, but the boring fucking combat made me forget about the story. Enemies will pop out attacking you all the time. Why? No idea. I think it's because you are the good guy who's trying to find the truth and is going after a big bad guy. But still, so much killing, so much pointless killing. The killing also feels scripted. You go into a room, you roam around, and poof, you have to kill shit. And then you interact with Elizabeth a bit, poof, you have to kill shit. Now, as I've said, the only interesting thing about this game was the world. That's only interesting at the beginning, in the first 2-3 hours, and the interaction with Elizabeth. But then again, how interesting can a 17-year-old girl who has been locked in a tower can be? Really. I also had an interest on finding voxophones early on. These are like personal messages left by different characters. The interest, however, faded quickly because I usually forgot what I just heard because the combat bored me to death, disconnecting me from the story. I also don't understand why developers like to put bits of story scattered around. I found this in Tomb Raider and now in BioShock. And there are other games that are doing this. Yeah, I understand on having different collectibles about the game that you can collect and show and give an achievement if you find all of them, but why story parts? What if I don't find a voxophone? Won't I miss part of the story? I was also talking with to a friend about BioShock and why he enjoyed the game. He said something like, yeah, if you don't get into the characters, all you get is pointless shooting. But then I'm thinking, what characters? You only interact with Elizabeth, who's cool, but then again she's 17 and she's naive, and every time I get into the freaking story I get disconnected by the fucking boring combat. So after I finished the game, I've read someone talking about boss fights and I was like, what boss fights? Boss fights supposed to be with characters that are unique, that they have abilities, and they're supposed to be memorable. Yeah, there was some kind of cheap character early on, but it wasn't memorable, like something like, oh yeah, that's a boss. It was just a different character. Another one later who basically repeats himself about 2 or 3 times, and that's about it. Someone said something about some ghosts, but like whatever, I didn't found them like a boss fight. I simply started shooting at the ghosts, and that was about it. Then I was thinking, maybe I don't like first-person shooters. The last first-person shooter I played was Borderlands 2, who also bored me to death. However, on Borderlands 2, there are some different things. For once, you can play that game co-op, and you can have a shitload of fun with some of your friends. Second, that game had different quests, it had a nice humor, I actually left a couple of times, and it had boss fights. Borderlands 2 is a game that has boss fights, so if you talk about boss fights, talk about Borderlands 2, and don't mention boss fights in the fucking BioShock Infinite. These are not boss fights. Then, I was actually thinking like, okay, BioShock Infinite bored me to death, Borderlands 2 bored me after a couple of hours. But then I remembered Half-Life 2, Half-Life 1, Max Payne series, Far Cry 3. These are first-person shooters who were fucking awesome. I even remember Painkiller that I played like 10 years ago. But Painkiller is a bit different. It's more of like aimless shooting. It's like shoot, 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 shoot. But then again, Max Payne, Half-Life 2, games that have a huge story. They have an environment. They have an art direction. They managed to integrate the fucking story with the combat. The combat doesn't feel fucking useless. In BioShock Infinite, it's like poop. Elizabeth is like, here, ammo. And then, here, salt. Why? Why? I'm not enjoying this. Then, I started to make a comparison with BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite. A game who I also said at the beginning of the review I didn't actually enjoyed. But thinking about it, BioShock 1 is fucking more awesome than BioShock Infinite, and I think I might actually go back and play BioShock 1. Why? On BioShock 1 you had decisions to make. Do I fight the Big Daddy? How do I fight the Big Daddy? Do I skip him and not fight at all? Then what do I do with this girl? Do I sacrifice her or do I save her? You have decisions. You have choices. Here you have nothing. You only have a story that's trying to be confusing, so you'll be like, oh yeah, that was so confusing, and in order for you to not seem stupid to other people, you will be like, yeah, I like BioShock, I especially like the story. It's a fucking plot twist, that's all. Like, oh, that's what happened. Wow, it's fucking boring. And it was interesting, as I've said, it was interesting for 3 hours. The game would have been so much more interesting if there was a different type of game, maybe an RPG or something, like a developer or a movie director. Like, for example, Kevin Smith is sitting on the toilet and he's like, I want to make a cult movie. I want to make Clerks, and I want this movie to be a cult following movie that's going to inspire other people. It doesn't work like that. This is what BioShock Infinite is trying to do. Let's try to create something that people are going to talk years from now. Let's try to make as confusing as possible so people will attempt to try to do it, and to attempt to try to think that they understand to do it, and then they will just follow everyone. So we just pay a couple of reviewers to give it 10 out of 10 and call the game Game of the Year, and everyone is going to fucking follow the path. I'm not going to say that you can't enjoy the game. You can enjoy it. It's not like a super bad game. It had a nice art direction, the game was taut, but it has awful game mechanics. As I've said, only 2 weapons. You run out of bullets. Sometimes, yes, Elizabeth sometimes helps you, but it's the idea that's always, oh my god, I'm going to run out of bullets. At the end of the game, I actually enjoyed playing with the hand cannon. I simply enjoyed watching like this. And then poof, when someone came around, bam, headshot, bam, headshot. I enjoy doing that. However, at the point I've stopped doing that. Why? Because I only have 7 bullets left. And I need to look for some fucking bullets. So I'm not going to use the weapon that I like. I'm going to use the rifle, which I also like. But I need to find the balance between them. Alright, some vending machines. Let's upgrade my weapons, but I'm not going to upgrade my weapons. I'm going to keep my money. Maybe I'm going to find something interesting later. So yeah. So guys, tell me this. Tell me this. As I've said, it's not impossible to like this game. I'm not saying this is my opinion. But I'm sure that there are a shitload of retard people who simply saw 10 out of 10. It's required for me to like this game. And I'm thinking about this, like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when the kids that are kids now are going to grow up, they'll be like, yeah, BioShock Infinite is a cult game, is a game that everyone should play because look at the reviews. No. No. Someone has to say, no. It's boring. You're not going to... If you like to play a game because of the art, there are plenty of other games to play like that. But I still can't get past of the... I finished the game in like 11 or 12 hours, and I only enjoyed the first 3. The other were simply dragging on, like simply killing. Oh, wow. Killing. So this is my fucking BioShock Infinite review. I've been using the word fucking a lot. Why? Because these games deserve it. Maybe not so much. Because there are other actually bad games that... Actually, those games do not deserve the word fucking, and they don't even deserve a review. These games deserves a review with the word fucking. So guys, tell me what do you thought about this game. Did you enjoy BioShock Infinite? If so, please tell me what. I've been actually talking on some people on a forum, and they've been like, you don't understand this game, go back on playing Call of Duty. Like, this is your argument? Really? This is your argument? Please, guys, tell me. What did you enjoy about BioShock Infinite? Also, if you didn't enjoy the game, why? It's a simple question. So thank you guys for watching this fucking review. See you in my next one. Goodbye.